we're in the middle of the move for the office. We've got a new office space, so we're moving into a new space. And as a result, right now, we don't have any place set up to record these types of videos. And it's also been like weeks since I got one out, so I wanted to do one anyway. So we're just making do. Hey, what's up, side hustlers, entrepreneurs, business builders, and dream makers? Welcome to the Sell Your Side Hustle Podcast, episode 99. Great to be with you here today. I don't know how the audio is going to turn out on this. I don't know how the video is going to turn out on this. I don't know if this is even going to work, but I just wanted to talk to you guys. So with that being said, let's get into it. Today, I'm going to give you a decision-making framework. When you find yourself in a position where you are making a choice, a hard choice, you're deliberating on it, and you've identified that you have two options. The framework I'm going to share with you today is going to help you navigate between those two options. Step one is going to be identifying what your options are. So if you're struggling to make a decision, what you're going to find once you map it out, maybe you need to write it down, maybe you talk it out with somebody, you're going to find that no matter how many choices you have, in most cases, not all cases, and I'm not going to make a claim for all cases, but in most cases, you're going to find that all the options that you have really boil down to two options that are tenable and that you're trying to make the decision between. And when you find out that you only have two options, then the framework I'm going to share with you works in about 95% of cases. The other 5 to 10% are a bit harder, but this works in most cases, so it's going to be helpful for you in most cases. Let me go ahead and share that with you. So the matrix that I have on the board actually maps all possible choices that you could ever make. Both of these options, by the way, these blanks that I'm about to fill in, are spectrums. I understand that they're spectrums. They're not as black and white as I'm going to make them. I'm going to put them in a binary for simplicity's sake, and understand I do recognize that they're in a spectrum. However, even being in a spectrum, you're going to be able to identify which quadrant something belongs in. So one thing is every choice that you're making is either easy or it's hard, right? That like the thing that you could do is either easy or it's hard. The other thing is actually a moral question. Is it right or is it wrong, right? Is it right or is it wrong? If you're sitting here and you're saying, actually, there is no right solution. The things are like they're all wrong solutions, and I have to pick one. I'm in this kind of a bind. Well, then you're actually just kind of adjusting your scale a little bit, and you're picking the lesser of two evils. So in those scenarios, you would look at it and say, which one's more right, which one's more wrong, and then this matrix still applies. Every option that you have available to you is going to fit in this matrix somewhere. It could be the easy right decision and be in this top left. It could be the easy wrong decision and be in the top right. It could be the hard right decision and be in the bottom left. And it could be the hard wrong decision and be in the bottom right. That's how this reads, okay? So you could map everything into these quadrants. Now, here's the interesting thing. When you're struggling to make a decision between two options, here's what's going to happen. If one of the options is the easy right thing, then it doesn't matter what the other option is. You already done the easy right thing because it's the easy right thing. So the easy right thing never ends up being in these decisions that we're trying to make. For the same reason, the hard wrong thing isn't in there either. We're never going to struggle to decide whether or not we should do something that is notably difficult and hard and arduous outside our comfort zone. We don't want to do it, and we know it's morally wrong. We're never going to think to do that. So when you find yourself struggling to make a decision between two options, what you're going to find 9 times out of 10 is you're struggling to decide between the hard right thing or the hard most right thing and the easy wrong thing. You're going to find that you're in one of those two spots. Is it the hard right or is it the easy wrong? Which one do I do? And I can explain to you both biologically and biblically why this is the case. Okay. Let's start biologically. We, as human beings, are mammals. Just like my cat is a mammal, we're mammals, right? And mammals are hardwired for conservation of energy and self-preservation. And mammals also don't typically have any concept of long-term consequences. They don't really think about tomorrow. They don't have that capability usually. So my cat is living her best life if everything she does is easy and fun. And that's our entire agenda always. Easy and fun. Right? As easy as possible. Fun is nice when it shows up. Basically, her modus operandi. We have that built into our DNA as mammals. We are hardwired to seek out the easy choice. We are hardwired to think out the easy choice, to seek out the easiest option. Okay? But unlike most mammals, human beings are sentient. We can think about long-term consequences, and we think about things like right and wrong. Okay? So when we are struggling to make a decision, 9 times out of 10, we find out it's between the easy wrong. That's because we're hardwired to seek out easy, and the hard right. That's because we have a moral compass built into us, unlike most other mammals. And so what we experience is that tension between what our biology wants us to do, what our DNA wants us to do, and what our morality and our consciousness and our sentient nature says is right. And that's the tension point. Biblically speaking, that's the difference between the flesh and the spirit, right? We, as if you're a believer watching my channel, I'm a Christian. I talk about my faith a lot. If you're not, that's okay. We believe as Christians that everything we do is a battle between our sin nature, the nature of the flesh, and our spiritual nature. We have the Holy Spirit endowed within us. God wrote the moral law in our hearts. And so we have this greater spiritual moral sense that's fighting with our flesh. And biologically that maps. And experientially that maps. So I promised you that in this video today, I was going to tell you how to make a decision when you're stuck between two things. Here is my recommendation for you. It's the mantra by which I live my life. It's the maxim that I share with all the people in my life. I'm saying it constantly. Do the hard right thing. When you can identify that your options are between the easy wrong and the hard right, you can identify what the hard right thing is, which just by thinking about this, you'll be able to do like 90% of the time when making a hard decision. When you can identify that, do the hard right thing. I believe it is axiomatic that that is always the long-term smarter decision. Do the hard right thing. That's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. It's great to be back in your earbuds. It's great to be back on the channel. I don't know when the next episode is going to come out simply because we are in a move. We are in a transitional setting. I wanted to share that with you because there's a lot of the things that I've been thinking through and chewing on recently, and I wanted to share it. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and I will talk to you guys in the near future. Love you all. God bless.